Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want.
Welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast, episode 29.
Today, I'm going to get super duper practical about how to create a resume for a career change. And by career change, I mean pivoting industries, pivoting roles, even a promotion. Because I see far too many resumes and I see far too many comments and posts on LinkedIn about people feeling like they're getting ignored. They know they can do something. They know they're equipped for that role, but nobody is paying attention. Nobody is taking their inquiries seriously. And honestly, I want you all to take responsibility for this because your resume and your LinkedIn profile can absolutely be structured in such a way and communicate a message that helps people understand why this career change is a logical next step in your career trajectory. And here's a few things that I want to share with you that will help you create a resume that gives that other person this aha moment that doesn't get you dismissed or ignored. The first thing you need to do is know what role you're aiming for. I have a career direction worksheet, which I will put in the show notes. So if you don't know what you want, you can figure that out. But what happens is if you don't know what you want, then you end up creating a resume that is trying to be all things to all people. Hopefully that by sharing everything you've done, that the human on the other side can connect the dots. Because of course, you're very close to your career. It all makes perfect sense to you when you look at this tapestry that represents your career. But if you are trying to be all things to all people and sharing more information than is necessary, then the person who's reading it, they're actually looking at the backside of that tapestry, which is a bunch of knots and tangles and everything else that they don't want to or don't have the time to take into consideration and know that all those threads are actually creating this beautiful career path that has led you to this exact moment. So please, please, please know what you want. If you don't, then you're just creating something that is confusing or something that is mediocre. Either it's too much information and nobody knows what to do with it. So that's step one. Know what role you are aiming for. Next, look at the job descriptions for that role. Everything you're applying to, when you're reading it and you're getting that sort of, yeah, I could do that. That's great. But now you need to make sure that the bullet points that you're including on your resume are aligning with that job description. Look at it from this perspective. Your resume isn't everything you want to say about yourself. It is a message that is helping the recruiter or hiring manager or anyone else involved in the evaluation process or hiring decision know what they need to know about you so they can visualize you in the role. They can see you doing the role. And your first step with that is to align all of the bullet points you select to the bullet points in that job description. You're going to be very strategic. This also helps you prevent your resume from getting too long, because if you're listing a bunch of bullet points of all the things you've done because you feel like that's going to make your case and that's going to convince someone of all the great stuff that you can do, again, it's too much. So keep it concise and keep those bullet points and those descriptions highly, highly relevant to the role you're seeking. And here's one of the things that I like to do, and that is copy and paste the job description out of the job post, lay it into a Word document. Then look at the things that you've done. Start to create some overlap between what's in the job description and what you want to say about yourself. That's a great way to allow your resume to be influenced, inspired by the job description. So be sure that you're picking those highly relevant aspects of your role. Don't feel bad about leaving some stuff out. It's actually better if you leave some stuff out, and just make sure what you are putting in makes it super easy for the person reading it to connect the dots of, oh yeah, you have done this thing. The other little thing to remember here is that there's a lot of inside language in companies. A perfect example is being a buyer and being someone who is in procurement. Hey, it's the same thing. It's just that one industry calls it being a buyer and another industry calls it procurement. So there's nothing wrong with you using the same words that the industry you're headed to uses, when ultimately they're synonyms. It's terminology that means the same thing. So don't be afraid to cross over and integrate some of that terminology into your resume. I just say it's being strategic, and I say it's using active listening. It's using the same words and phrases that the other person uses so that you can create that genuine connection with them and give them this aha moment that you actually do understand what the role is requiring. Okay, number 3, showcase your skills and accomplishments. I can't stress this enough. And when you take a look at the resume templates that I use, and I will share those with you in the show notes, you'll notice that I build in a section called Essential Skills. And essential skills are your workplace behavioral strengths and transferable skills that help you create success in the role. We create results with this combination of hard skills and transferable skills. So when you know what those are, then you can better articulate the results that you've created in the past, but you can also showcase why you can do it again. This is so important because if you think about it, a job description is just a list of pain points and aspirations the role is designed to address. So when you showcase your transferable skills, the how you show up to do stuff, and you attach a very specific accomplishment to the how you show up, you're painting a very clear picture for the person reading your resume. Example, are you someone who is very structured and orderly? Well, what does being structured and orderly do? How does that serve you in your role in the past? And how will it serve you in the role that you're going to in the future? Describe that. Attach an accomplishment to that. Maybe you're someone who's very open-minded and imaginative. Great. Those are great skills to have and are required behaviors to find success in certain roles. So be sure that those are the things that you are focusing on. Listen, all companies basically want the same thing. They want to serve their customers or clients. They want to make money. They want to reduce costs. They want to have impact. Anytime you can show that you've done those things in the roles that you've had in your past is going to give them a comfort level, an assurance that you can do it again, that everything comes with you and you will solve pain points and achieve goals and aspirations in your new role. Career changes are 100% possible, my friends. But you've got to see yourself and your career history through the lens of where you're going and not just this rear view mirror summary of what you've done in your past. Please remember that this is a message for the person that's reading it. This is a message to showcase why you are a great candidate, and you can't actually convince anybody of anything. You first have to value yourself, and then other people will see your value. That happens on paper, and that happens in interviews, and it happens because of the transfer of energy that you're providing through that document, through those communications. All right. Write some good resumes out there. And like I said, I've got some tips, tricks, templates in the show notes, so please be sure to take advantage of those. And if you're like a lot of people who hear me talk about resumes and who send me their resume on LinkedIn to take a peek at, then you want me to write your resume for you. And that is one of my career coaching services. So please don't hesitate to find out more information about that as well when you look me up. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.
Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out my Love Your Work Life programs on Teachable. You can choose from on-demand courses or personalized one-on-one coaching with me. We take all of this material and apply it so that you can live it and create the career you want. Because when you love your work life, all the other parts of life get better too. So go to Love Your Work Life Teachable as search terms, or love-your-work-life.teachable.com. I will see you there.